Latitude and longitude are obviously helpful. They can help us identify an exact point somewhere on our Earth. Now, we have been using latitude and longitude to record the location of our fieldwork, and we're going to use our latitude and longitude readings to geolocate some of our fieldwork findings using a couple of tools. Google Sheets, which is your spreadsheets application, and Google Maps. So let's have a look. Now the first thing we need to do is, of course, ensure that we are using the right unit or the right method in which to communicate and input into Google Sheets. And Google appreciates the degrees decimal method. Now, for example, you might have written down the location of your field site using the degrees minutes section format. So we can see some here. We've got latitude and longitude. Now what's important to remember is that we're dealing with 4 hemispheres here. With latitude, it's both the southern hemisphere and the northern hemisphere. With the longitude, it's the east and the west. Now what we need to insert is, and I'll do this here, little minus symbol, and that will become important so that our spot on Google Maps is located in the southern hemisphere and not the northern hemisphere. Now, as it says here, insert a minus symbol for the southern hemisphere and insert a minus symbol for the western hemisphere. And because we are dealing with a longitude that places our fieldwork site in the eastern hemisphere, we do not need a minus symbol in front of our longitude measures. Okay, so the question is, how do you convert that? Well, there's a site for everything, latitude and longitude conversion. So you simply write yours in. So you can see down the bottom here where my cursor is, I have a latitude and longitude in degrees minutes second given. So I'm not going to go to the decimal points, I'm simply going to go 31 degrees, minutes 27, and seconds 24. And convert. Now I haven't said what hemisphere it's in, so I obviously need to remember that when looking at the degrees decimal. So what you can do is copy and paste that into wherever you need that to be, and most likely that will be in your Google Sheet. Now let's look at this. So once you have your latitude in the correct format, you need to put that into your Google Sheet template, and I have done that here. So you'll receive a template that will look very much like this. It'll have the field sites numbering field site 2 through to 4. It'll have these across the top, which are our fieldwork, our components, the things we are looking for, and then it's up to you to process that information. So you can see here how I have the latitude and I also have the longitude. Now I've gone on to include the other information from my fieldwork sheet. Now, the question is, how do we create the map? So in Google Drive, you can see here I've just in a random folder. Now wherever you want your map to be saved, you need to open that folder. Once you are at that location, click on New, then go to More and click on Google My Maps. So we create and share if you have shared your folder with a particular person or people. Okay, so you've got a basic map, it's blank. First thing I'd like to do, and because we're dealing with quite a small fieldwork location, is use the satellite image base map. So you may have used Google Maps before and placed place marks like that, simply clicking on a location. As you can see, it gives you the latitude and longitude in degrees decimal. Rather, what we're going to do is over here on the left, we're going to import some data and information. So when we click on Google Drive and go over to Recent, if you've been recently editing that sheet, or you may need to just enter the name of it, you select that. Now the first thing we do is it will prompt us to choose columns to position your place marks. So if Google Maps recognizes that you have latitude and longitude, it will automatically select those. So choose a column to title your place markers. I want you to click on field site, and that will title your place mark field site 2, field site 3, so on and so forth. Now, if all works, the magic of Google should automatically place our place mark at our specific location. There we go. So if you are unhappy with that and think, oh, it could be moved somewhat, you can drag, click, hold and drag to where you think it should be. The best thing about this is that it automatically geolocates the information, but we can see that we have all of this information next to it. Next thing you might like to do is add an image. So you might have saved your photo to Google Photos. Oh, there's a picture of me smiling. Or you may have uploaded them to your Google Drive and you can locate them from there. So, for example, you might have taken some photos at this field site. You may have taken some photos of the soil and the soil ribbon test, which you're asked to do. And I would ask you to embed some photos there. So that's a very quick introduction to using latitude and longitude to geolocate field data using Google Sheets and Google Maps.